So get ready to raise your hands. Good morning again. Happy fall equinox. This is our celebration for this special time of the year that we can use as a spiritual invitation. And that's what we're doing today, celebrating as a group. I will need 5 readers to read a little paragraph that I'll put up on the screen. Each one of you will have a little paragraph to read that will kind of welcome us into the opportunity and invitation of symbolic meaning of the fall equinox, symbolic and non-symbolic, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual action and invitation. So who are my 5 people? People who don't already have something to read. So that would be, okay, Debbie, I did send you something to read. Did you happen to get it? No, okay, so don't worry about that. You'll be one of the 5 readers. So Debbie, how about Wilma? All right, thank you. And then Catherine, are you willing to be a reader? All right, let's get 2 people from the sanctuary who are not already reading something or haven't already said something. Like I think Letitia is in the room. Letitia's in the house. And I need 1 more from the sanctuary, the physical sanctuary.
Done.
Who is it going to be? No volunteer. Sandra, how about if I call on you? If you can be the 5th person.
Sandra, talking to you.
It's hard for me to hear you guys. So, all right, I'm going to so let's do. If Letitia's there, you're reader number 1, Leticia. Debbie, you're reader number 2. Wilma rather, is number 3. Catherine's number 4, and Sandra is number 5. Thank you for being willing to kick us off with this reading that is actually from one of my favorite publications that comes out every year. It's called We Moon. It's a calendar, and it's full of beautiful poetry and art. It also has an astrology calendar, but I love the poetry and the art is my favorite thing. It's like a day calendar, you know, where it's got a week. You can go online. They have cards and calendars and tote bags, and it's a beautiful publication. And this one is that we're going to be reading together is by Karen Culpepper, and it's called The Fall Equinox. And let me share my screen for the slides. Okay. Now this opening slide, let me just make it bigger. There you go. This is the 21st century Wheel of the Year. You may have seen it before. We've been using it. It's actually has been developed, and this illustration is designed by, what's her name? Donna O'Driscoll. And she has a website called Druid's Garden. druidsgarden.com is her website. And she has kind of reconfigured, and we've been doing this for the wheel of the 21st century, as opposed to the Celtic wheel, which is agriculture based. The 21st century, most people are not living out in rural areas and living on farms and actually physically doing the harvest. We have different kinds of harvests in our lives, though, and we have different ways to celebrate. So these things might be familiar to you. We talked about resilience. We talked about regeneration and revisioning. Remember that? Reverence. And fall equinox here on the left in orange is receptivity. And that's part of our theme. But let's move on with the reading here. Okay, reader 1, Leticia, and reader 2, Debbie.
May we assemble again in the spirit of harmony and ripeness. Let your eyes gently scan and your thoughts wander as you take in the fullest of these beautiful choices that we have nurtured from seed to bud to fruit to harvest. May we embrace the spirit of fulfillment and find comfort in our sovereignty.
Sovereignty. Beautiful.
Sovereignty.
Thank you, Leticia. Thank you for the reading. It's good to see you.
Take a moment to remember what you conjured.
The same way we connected with folks who breathed life into our hopes, we must continue to lean into community for the sake of our collective thriving.
Thank you, Debbie. Now we have Wilma and Catherine. Wilma's reader 3.
How do we dance with balance, reconciliation, and opposition together? Together, let us have a seat at the table and take a collective cleansing breath. And I invite you all to take a breath.
Thank you, Wilma. And Catherine.
Through the lens of analysis and with a softer gaze, let's exchange creative imaginings and invoke the energy of change and beauty. Can you take effective action? Or if there's controversy, let it go for the sake of the best and highest good of the collective.
Thank you, Catherine. And our last reader is Sandra.
Our webs of relationships matter so deeply at this moment. Center practices that fortify the inner alchemy and relationships that prioritize reciprocity and deep care, by Karen Culpepper in the We Moon Calendar Mother Tongue, Inc., 2023.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you all for reading basically an opening invocation, our invitation to the fall equinox. So the word equinox is a Latin word, and it means equal night. At the equinox, the sun is tracking around the world due east and due west. I don't know if you've ever noticed, as the seasons change, the sunrise and the sunset change location, right? They make like a little they go back and forth as the year progresses. This is in the middle now, if you keep track. Now, some people actually go outside in their garden, or they put stones on their windowsill and they track where it is. They look at the sunrise on these days and they see where it's coming up. And they do that over the course of a year. And then the next year they can see where, it's hitting. Okay, now I can. It kind of gives you another way to engage with the changing of our place and our tilt towards the sun and our place in the cosmos. So that's a practice that you might want to enjoy, marking the sunrise or the sunset locations. This, in the Celtic Wheel of the Year, the traditional Wheel of the Year, is also known as the second harvest. The first harvest, if you recall, was August 1st, when we celebrated Lughnasadh. And that's the Celtic sun god Lu. That's the first harvest. But this is the second harvest, and there's a third coming up, and that's in Samhain, October 31st, which we also call Halloween. That's the third harvest, but this is the second one. And in terms of spiritual concepts that we could use with this invitation as an opportunity to reflect on our own journey, there are things like the balance of light and dark. Now, balance is never like a static balance. It never stays static. It's a dynamic balance, especially in nature. But it's an opportunity to look at the duality of light and dark and hold those oppositions in our hearts and see what other things in our lives are dual, that we can hold both. And a lot of times it's a good opportunity to also reflect on, what's the lighter side of my life? What's the darker side of my life? We hold them both. We are all of it. Another opportunity we have. I don't know if the leaves are yet turning in Montreal. They're just starting to here. There's a lot more orange and red leaves. I see you, Wilma, nodding. This is about letting go and seeing the trees let go of the leaves. It's a very interesting process. And it reminds us of the impermanence of things, that change is the way of things, even though to us it might look permanent for at least for a little while, and we take comfort in that. We know that things are changing. Another thing that this time of year brings up at the equinox is starting to go inward. Things start to slow down. The frenzy of the summer and all the events of summer and the celebrations, they all start to become less frenzied, less scheduled. I know here where I live in Saxe-Baja, every Saturday for 18 Saturdays in the summer was free music. Saturdays was crazy with all kinds of things going on into the night, dancing and craft fairs and special food and events and free music. It was a busy time, 18 Saturdays. That stopped last Saturday. So it's much more, it's more of a peaceful time. It's a time to go in, slow down, reflect, start to think about what's coming next after Samhain is the winter solstice, December 21st, right? We're starting to come into holiday season now. And then, of course, taking stock of our harvest. Maybe you do have an actual garden or flowers, but inside, what is your harvest? We did some revisioning in June with the summer solstice, and we were invited at that time to kind of create a vision for yourself of how you saw yourself ending the year. You know, what are you going to do the second half of the year, second 6 months? And maybe you just take a moment right now and remind yourself, what was that you were focusing on? And how has your harvest been now in the second harvest season? One thing that I really liked about that opening that our 5 readers offered us was, you know, like the first line, may we assemble again in the spirit of harmony and ripeness. Harmony is a more dynamic, balanced word than balance, right? So I love harmony. And ripeness, of course, implies the harvest. There's also a line, may we embrace the spirit of fulfillment and find comfort in our sovereignty. And this ties back to our theme for this month that we've been doing for the last 3 Sundays, culminating today, of I, we, I, you, and we. And we talked about our sovereignty as our I when we stand in our power there, not separate, but the power is in our interconnections, right? That's something that we've talked about. Then another part of that opening was the same way we connected with folks who breathed life into our hopes. There's the you part, I and you. We must continue to lean into community for the sake of our collective thriving. And remember that exercise we did when we said, I am here to be seen, and we said, we see you. That's for our community and our collective thriving. And also part of the opening, how do we dance? How do we dance with balance, reconciliation, and opposition together? Let us have a seat at the collective table. More about that. We and our sovereignty and power as a we, as that divine ocean. And then the big one is letting go like the leaves do this season for the sake of the best and the highest good of our community, of the collective, in the name of change and beauty. So this is what we're doing here today. And there are several people that have readings ready to go, and I would like to invite Gloria to share hers.
Good morning. This poem is entitled Yielding. In the half light, half dark, the line is subtle, seamless, where I reside. How do I hold both? the joy and awe of what it is to be alive in this breathing, beautiful body of these cells of this earth, and all the grief and chaos of the nonsense of power. And I stay right here in the middle. We stay right here in the middle. In the meeting of dark and light, what if we stopped in the subtlety, slowed down a bit more, so that we can open up another kind of listening, so that the next brave and useful step can emerge, revealing itself, so that we make space for the revolution of our lives occurring in each breath. Yielding to a balance within fourth Sabota. And this is by Sophia Faria, 2023. And I have a question for Reverend Chris.
Yes, thank you, Gloria.
I was not able to, I could find Sabota, which is the Sabbath or Saturday, but I could not find out what the fourth Sabota.
You know what? I couldn't find that either. Isn't that interesting? So I'm going to send a message to my Reverend group, interfaith ministers group, and ask, what is the fourth Sabota? Yeah, fourth Saturday, literally. But does anyone know?
Or the fourth Sabbath? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of this time of year referred to as the fourth Sabbath. I don't know. It's a mystery. I'll tune back in. Maybe we'll find out by class on Wednesday. Thank you for asking. Thank you for your reading.
You're welcome. I love this poem.
I'm glad you like it. Let me just share one. I see Pauline has joined us, but I'm not sure that Pauline knows that I asked her to read something. So I'll take the pressure off and I will read it. It's just a little quote from Joanna Ellis. On the cusp between light and dark, you are becoming a new greatness beyond even your wildest dreams. And with that quote, I want to bring our attention to that new wheel of the year that Dana O'Driscoll created, where this time of year, yes, second harvest, yes, balance of light and dark, all those things we've already talked about, but it's also about receptivity, which is openness to new ideas, openness to our greatness, as it just said in that quote, openness to change, and openness to new experiences or patterns in our life, as this is an opportunity to slow down and reflect, to take stock of our second harvest. It's also a time to say, what do I need to say yes to, right? What's my holy yes? What is coming? And we'll do a little meditation about this. Receptivity is about accepting what comes rather than trying to force things in a specific direction. Accepting what comes, accepting the synchronicities, accepting the messages and little nudges that you're already receiving and saying yes. Cultivating receptivity allows us to be more open, more aware, and engaged with the world as it is, not as we hope it will be or wish it would be, but as it really is. It allows us to hold space for what's happening and approach it with gratitude and respect. And now I'd like to invite Marjorie to offer her reading.
This is a poem about gratitude. It's by Emily Jane Mockett, and it's called Summer's Bedtime. Good night, summer. We kiss your forehead mountaintop here, calling in the higher light that raised our devotion to praise. Good night, summer. We squeeze your tender flesh of earth here, grounding our presence to abundance, that lingered us in the warmth of days. Good night, summer. We breathe your pheromones of humidity here, seducing our intimacy with nature that entered our dreaming ways. Good night, summer. We stroke your cheeks of clouds here, casting hope within the impermanence that blessed the backs of our harvest hands' praise. Good night, summer. We love you. May we carry your gifts under our skin. May you muse us in the winter wind, always here with love as the fire within. Thank you.
Thank you, Marjorie, for reading that beautiful poem. And along this theme continues of gratitude and receptivity. I invite Nicole, who's in the sanctuary today, to read her poem as her offering for our fall equinox celebration.
The reading is by Shayla Paradise from 2021 and is entitled Host. Invite it all. Invite the discomfort, the messy, even the icky. Invite the exposed, the embarrassing, and the not so graceful. Invite the miscalculation, the unrealistic, and the sad. Invite the dramatic, the poor form, and don't forget the hypocritical. You might as well laugh. Do more than laugh. Enjoy it. I'd say invite the ego, but it already invited itself. So rather, treat it nicely. Give it a seat at the party, like everyone else. Invite fear. Be kind to it. It never meant to hurt anything. It just loves you a great deal. More than it can stand sometimes. Invite the ache. In fact, give the ache the comfiest chair. Keep its drink full and hang on its words. This is your guest of honor. We owe the whole party to the ache. That's where we strive from. It's the emptiness we fill, where art is put on canvas, where songs are born. That's where we re-grow. Invite the blood. It's full of life, edgy, inarguably real. Be a good host. Invite it all. Maybe courage will show up. I hear it loves a good party. Maybe wisdom will recognize the opportunity. Maybe peace will be drawn to the gathering. Maybe, may be. Outside, the owl is watching, content, full of love. Invite it all.
Thank you, Nicole, for that beautiful reading. And continuing that theme, we're going to do a meditation song. This was created for us for today by Karen Novi, a singer-songwriter who's a friend of mine. And she created this as for kind of a, not really a meditation song, but I think it'll go nicely into our meditation. Following this poem of invite it all, hold it all, even the dark and the light, because today's the equinox, where we're seeking harmony between these things, that we are all of it. I invite you to relax into your seat and let this song wash over you and see what bubbles up for you. What is coming up that needs to be invited into your heart? Just close your eyes and let this wash over you. Keep your eyes closed. Relax your body a little bit more. And in that opening, as you send out now an invitation to the universe from your heart, be open to receiving. You might receive something emotional or mental, some thoughts, ideas. You might receive a physical sensation or a release of some sort. You might receive a shift in energy or a little tickle from the great cosmos. Breathe that in and see if you can describe it in one word, one magical word that encapsulates what you just received, no matter how tiny. What is one word that you can take with you forward into your day and into your week and your month and into your life moving forward? What's the one word that symbolizes that for you? And I'd like you to write it down if you can. And I'm going to ask you to tell me that one word, because I have in my hand little dissolvable papers, and I have a picture. Can you guys see that? Guys, let me stop my let me stop blurring my background. There we go. Here is my pitcher of water. You'll notice, see how the cloudiness is the dissolved paper from probably, I don't know, tens of people who've released. We called this the wishing well for the last few weeks. And today I'm gonna go to the river. Today I'm going to the river. This is filled with people's wishes and intentions, and I'm going to gratefully and with great honor and slowness pour this into the mighty Ha River and offer it up to nature as a way to release those things to the cosmos to do its work. And I would like to include your words on there that you've received. I'd like to read your intentions without a phrase. I don't have time for that, but I would like to have a word representing what you received so that I can amplify it in the ceremony today. And I'll take a picture and send it around to everyone too. And let me mute Anna. There we go. Great, thank you. Glad you joined us. Okay. Well, let me get people's words. Sandra, maybe you can make sure I hear everybody's words from the sanctuary by coming to the front. And let me call on people here so I make sure I don't miss anyone. Gloria, what is your word?
Energy.
All right, I take your word and I dissolve it into the water. And Wilma?
Diligence.
All right. And here goes your word into the water, into the collective water that'll be released to the river. Debbie, what's your word?
Harmony.
Harmony. Harmony goes into the pitcher. And Catherine?
Love.
Let's add love into the pitcher. And Marjorie, and then Dr. Maya.
Mine's accept.
Accept. Okay, accept goes in. Dr. Maya, your word? And you're muted.
I heard the word forgive me. And I knew where it came from. So yeah.
Your word goes into the collective pitcher. And Pauline, what is your word?
Grace.
Grace. Thank you. There we go. All right, and Sandra, in the sanctuary, what are the words?
Inspiration.
Hey, inspiration. And you know what? How about holding your hands towards the screen with the intention of sending your love into this picture. While we do the remaining words, what else do you have for us, Sandra?
Insight. Insight.
Insight?
For Susan.
Okay. Insight. Beautiful. Another one?
For Danielle, peace.
Okay, Daniel, here's your word into the picture that we're all holding and sending our love into. Next.
Donna, wisdom.
Okay, Donna, here's your wisdom word being dissolved into the collective picture. And who else? Daniel? No, I got Daniel. Anyone else?
Leticia,
Leticia.
protection.
Okay, Leticia, protection. There we go. And
Nicole,
Nicole.
beauty.
Nicole for beauty. All right, beauty. Any more, Sandra? Did you go?
That's it for here.
All right, we have everyone on the line. I see Anna's joined us. Anna, even though you're just catching up, I appreciate that you joined us for the Equinox celebration. Give us a word that I can put on a piece of dissolving paper and release to the mighty Ha River on this beautiful Equinox day. Something that is an intention of yours. Humility. Thank you, Anna. Okay. Did I receive everyone? Yes? Okay. Woo! On 3, say amen to this beautiful water. 1, 2, 3. Amen. Beautiful. To close us out of this beautiful celebration for Equinox, I'm going to ask Susan to do a little quote that she had, and Wilma, I invite you to give us a closing blessing.
Okay.
Thank you. Susan?
Want me to go first? May the cool breezes and brilliant color of the coming fall invigorate your heart and thrill your senses. It's a quote by Andrew Harvey. Thank you.
Thank you. Wilma?
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. As we remember that we keep our heart with all diligence, because out of it comes the issues of life.
Beautiful. Thank you, Wilma. Thank you all for joining this congregational celebration for the equinox. Thank you for participating. Thank you for offering readings and sharing your words, and not just sitting through, but really deeply engaging in this invitation that we have this time of year for more harmony in our lives. This is my last week with you for the September month. I will be doing the meditation on Tuesday, and then the last class will be Wednesday at 6:30. I hope you'll join me. Have a beautiful day, and I turn this now back over to our beloved Dr. Maya.